Have you ever experienced one of those days that starts out so normal, you'd never guess it would transform your life? Well, let me take you back to a Saturday morning in Springfield. I was Sarah Miller, then a name as ordinary as the pancakes I was flipping while sunlight poured into the kitchen. But in a heartbeat, the everyday became remarkable. David, my husband, rushed in, face ashen, clutching his phone. "Sarah, you need to come outside," he said, and I could feel the gravity in his voice. Now, you might be thinking, what could possibly be that urgent in a backyard? But as I stepped out, with our kids, Emily and Noah, trailing behind, I caught sight of something strange. The ground by the old oak tree was heaving upward, as if some unseen force was pushing from beneath. Picture a mound of earth, not just displaced, but actively lifting, the way a tectonic plate might buckle under pressure, a term geologists call uplift. At first, I thought, is this a burrow? Maybe a raccoon making itself at home? But the soil was too disturbed, the movement too rhythmic. Emily crept closer. "It looks like it's moving," she whispered. And suddenly our cozy Saturday felt like the start of a mystery novel. The air buzzed with questions, and honestly, an undercurrent of fear. So, what do you do when the ordinary cracks open to reveal the unknown? We called in David's brother Mark from County Environmental Services, a man who'd seen his share of oddities. He examined the mound and said, "I've never seen anything like this. It could be a root system, maybe a forming sinkhole." But his voice faltered, like even he knew that didn't quite fit. Let me pause and ask, how would you respond if nature rewrote the rules in your own backyard? For us, that mysterious mound became a threshold, the first ripple in a year, that would upend and redefine our family. Sometimes, the biggest stories begin with the smallest tremors beneath our feet. As days slipped by, that mound didn't shrink, it grew, and so did the questions swirling around it. Neighbors gossiped. Local theories flourished, like spring weeds, a broken water main, a forgotten time capsule, maybe even lost treasure. But late at night, when the world was quiet, our family would hear it, the low, steady rumble that made the earth feel alive, as if it had a heartbeat. That's what geologists call seismic resonance, a vibration that hints at hidden power. Let me tell you a story about Emily, who turned her curiosity into action. She started chronicling every change in a leather-bound journal, transforming fear into fascination. "What if it's something incredible?" she'd ask. "What if it's nature trying to talk to us?" And there was the conflict. Awe and anxiety vying for space in our hearts. Now, you might be wondering, why not just dig it up and solve the mystery? Well, one stormy night, nature answered that for us. A ferocious wind, the kind meteorologists call a microbursts, toppled our old oak, its roots ripped up to expose the network below. What lay beneath was no ordinary root system. Imagine a labyrinth of thick, pulsing structures alive, glistening, interconnected. It was like stumbling onto the mycelial web of a giant fungus, only denser, more vibrant, almost electric. Mark and the kids stared in disbelief. That moment, the storm, the fallen tree, the unveiled secret felt like the climax of a film. A century-old oak had shielded this phenomenon all our lives. Now, it had become a revelation, not just for us, but for all of Springfield. "It's been growing here longer than any of us have been alive," Mark whispered, and the realization sent a shiver through me. This is the part of the story where wonder meets uncertainty. Our backyard had become the epicenter of something bigger, a living mystery. And we stood at the edge, equal parts frightened and fascinated, unsure what the next chapter would bring. What happens when a family's secret becomes the town's obsession? Over the next few weeks, experts arrived: botanists, ecologists, even journalists hungry for a story. Words like biological anomaly and subterranean ecosystem were tossed around, but the truth was, no one knew what we'd found. In ecology, there's a term, keystone species, for organisms that hold entire systems together. Could this root network be something like that, hidden beneath our town for generations? Things got complicated. Some scientists wanted to cut samples, to dig deeper, to analyze. Others argued for preservation. Meanwhile, our family felt torn between scientific progress and the primal urge to protect what had, in a strange way, chosen us. Now, you might be thinking, wouldn't you want to know the truth at any cost? But let me ask, can you ever fully understand something by tearing it apart? Emily became the Roots' fiercest defender. She'd sit beside them, hands pressed to the pulsing surface, as if trying to listen to a language beyond words. One day, she came inside and said, "Mom, I feel calm when I'm near it, like it's alive and trying to comfort me." At first, I brushed it off as a child's imagination. But soon, all of us felt it. A subtle warmth, a gentle hum, something that soothed rather than scared. And so, we faced a choice: allow the world to dissect this wonder, or let it be, respecting the mystery and the peace it brought our family. David and I, after many late-night talks, decided on the latter. Our home faded from the headlines. Curiosity moved on, but the Roots remained a silent guardian beneath our feet. Sometimes, what's bigger and stronger isn't meant to be controlled or explained. Sometimes, it's there to ground us, to unite us, and to remind us of the power of connection in the face of the unknown. That was the lesson Springfield and our family would carry forward. Years have passed since that fateful summer, yet the memory of what lay beneath our backyard lives on. Emily wrote her college essay, "The Roots Beneath Us," about resilience and wonder. Noah tells the story to his friends with wide-eyed awe. And David and I, whenever life throws its challenges, job stresses, family arguments, life's inevitable grief, look at each other and remember the Roots. Strong, unseen, holding us together. Now, you might be wondering, was it ever explained what exactly was under your yard? The scientists never reached a consensus. Some called it an unprecedented mycorrhizal network. Others suggested it was an unknown form of life, entirely a biological black swan, defying classification. But for us, the real answer was different. It was a living metaphor, a reminder that some mysteries are meant to be lived with, not solved. Let me ask you, when you face something bigger than yourself, do you shrink away or do you lean in, ready to listen and learn? That summer taught us that not every force greater than us is a threat. Sometimes it's a gift, a source of strength, connection, and lasting curiosity. Whenever I step out on the porch at sunset, the grass now grown back over the mound, I feel gratitude. Beneath my feet lies an unanswered question, vast and alive. It's a part of our story, a story of fear transformed into wonder, of a family finding unity in the face of the unknown. So, next time life delivers you something unexpected, something bigger, stronger, or beyond your understanding, remember our backyard. Sometimes, all you can do is listen to the heartbeat of the earth, trust in the roots beneath you, and face the unknown together.